of his mouth.
Mild is mild. All right, so here we are with Joe from China Cycling and Panda Podium. Hello, Joe.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. It's been a very busy day.
Yeah, you've had some eventful things, but that's, yeah, you can put that in your video.
All right, so we're going to be asking Joe about his life. I think that Joe's been on YouTube for about, 10, 12 years?
The first upload was 2016, but like that was, you had 3 subscribers or whatever. I'd say I've been in the YouTube game for like 5 years. I think would be a fair thing to say.
All right, so in that time, I don't think you don't come across as a me person. So I've never seen much of me. You're always doing good service to the things that you're supposed to be doing service to. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to come out here, have a chat with you, and learn a bit about you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for me, it's always been about the products. Like, I don't think people need to know about me. So, my name's not on the channel. I don't go around saying my name and stuff. Like, people see me at the show here and they're like, look, more people know me as China Cycling than they do as Joe. So, but if you want to get to know me, we can go there, doctor. We can get on the psychiatrist's couch. Let's go deep.
So I guess we can start off with what brought you over to China?
How long do you want this video to be?
How long do you want it to be?
I think they kick us out here in like 15 minutes. So
all right, let's go with that.
I'll give you the abridged version. Long story short, I was working in the video game industry in the UK. In 2008, the global economic crisis, we were owned by an American publisher. They shut the UK studio. So I came over to China just to work on my portfolio and teach English part-time. Teaching English in China, and I originally came for 3 months. Loved it so much. Everything was different. Great place to live. Super nice people. Super cool environment. Land of opportunity. And that was 16 years ago. So basically fell in love with the place. Started my first business was an English training center. I started here. That grew pretty big. And then the city where that was in there, the air quality wasn't great. So I wanted to move to a place with better air quality. And at the same time, the YouTube channel started to take off. I was getting into bikes. So the original English training school business, sold that business. Moved to Xiamen to work for another bike brand. Worked there for like 3-4 years, very successful. That brand pretty famous now. And then after that, wanted to do more with more brands, more choice. Because when you work for one brand, when a customer comes to you and says, "Oh, recommend a bike for me," you've only got like 3 frames to choose from. Or recommend a wheel to me, you got like 2 wheels to choose from. And like that might not be the best product for the person, but you can't recommend a competitor's product because the company exists to make money. And so the idea of Panda Podium was like, I've got 40 brands now, and like wheels, we've got like 130 wheel sets. So anyone who comes to me and says, "I want a wheel," I can say, "How heavy are you? What size tires do you like? How smooth are the roads? How many watts per kilo is your FTP?" Like all these questions, and I can find the perfect wheel set for you and your budget because I've got a lot more choice. So there is your very short, abridged answer.
Man, you can speak fast.
Hey, I've been doing it all day, so.
So, have you always been into cycling?
No, so in the UK, I never rode bikes. I was a car guy, so going down Santa Pods Raceway, doing the quarter mile drag strip, like tinkering on my own cars, like VTEC, swaps, all that stuff, JDM. And yeah, only in China they're getting to bikes as a way to like replace the car thing, because in China, number one, you can't drive a car with a UK driving license, and number two, it's illegal to modify cars in China. So I wanted something where I could scratch that itch of getting my hands dirty, tinkering with stuff, and like bikes really satisfied that.
I guess that was going to be my next question is, do you think that this kind of technicality of the engine and the car kind of drove you towards what you do in cycling, because you are quite a tech nerd?
Yeah, definitely. So Strava was also one of the things that got me into bikes. Like, my friend showed me Strava, I think, before I even got into bikes, and I loved it. Like, for me, back in the day, playing video games, as I said, I was obsessed with video games. I was in the computer games industry. My little monkey brain loves seeing small numbers get bigger. So when you're playing World of Warcraft, you're level 1, and you're level 2, and then the number gets bigger. And in the beginning, you're fighting Womp Rats, and it's a level 1 Womp Rat, and then in the end, you're fighting a dragon, and it's a level 60 dragon. Just something about my monkey brain just likes those numbers getting bigger. And so Strava is just that on steroids, because your average speed gets faster, and then your segments, and then once you get a heart rate monitor, you can start playing with that. There's more data, and then you get a power meter, and like my monkey brain just like lit up, and made me obsessed with cycling. partly because of Strava. And like you were saying, the biggest difference between cars and bikes is cars, 99% of the performance is the car, it's 1% driver. Whereas on a bike, arguably 80% the rider, 20% the bike. So it was really cool as well to get into another sport. And yeah, I used to be into martial arts, and then getting into a more aerobic sport, was super interesting.
So what do you think has been one of your biggest challenges in this transition? Would you say like moving from like a language teacher to moving into this full-time, starting up your own company in a foreign country? What do you think have been some of your, let's not go with biggest challenge, some of your challenges that you've faced?
I'd say, so without sounding like this is some hippie life-changing advice book, I'd say literally every challenge I face is an opportunity. Like everything that I find hard is stuff that's my competitors potentially would find hard. So like the cultural barrier or the language barrier or any of these things. So to answer your question, yeah, language barrier in the beginning was tough. Cultural barrier, technical knowledge, like in the beginning, you think bikes are super simple. Especially like even engineers who graduate university, mechanical engineering, like they think a bike hub is super simple. Like, oh, that's easy. Like, just do this, that, and that, and then you make it, and then you put it in the real world, and within 500 miles, the bearings are broken because it doesn't work in real world how it works in SolidWorks or FEA or anything. So, all of these challenges have been challenges and things just to learn. But like I said, none of them I regret because every single one of them just makes it harder for people to come along and try replicate what I do or try to compete with what I do or anything. And like, it's not that I want to earn all the money in the world, but I'm a competitive guy. Like, I think most cyclists are competitive guys. Yeah. That's why we get into cycling, and we want to go faster by buying nicer bike stuff. So yeah,
I just want my friends to go faster so I can sit behind them.
You see, you got the big brain thing. I'll have to take some of the e-bike stores. There are some great e-bikes around here. But yeah, I'm just pretty competitive, and so yeah, anything that's been a challenge, I've used it as a potential advantage, let's say.
There's a big skepticism against Chinese products. A lot of it has to do with historically some Chinese products that was being sent abroad were not so good. But over the last, I'd say 8 to 10 years, there's been a significant improvement to us knowing that many of the OEMs that are European big name brands are actually made here in China by the same companies, just under a different name. How would you, well, not that you would try, but if you were to, if I asked you to try to convince a European or North American audience of purchasing a Chinese product and having that security, what would you say?
So this is a lot to unpack here, definitely. I agree with everything you said. I'd say that the way social media is set up today as well, like everyone has their own echo chambers. So the guys watching who think all Chinese stuff is crap and they don't want to write any Chinese stuff, I mean, they're probably not watching this video, especially not this long anyway. But if they are still watching, they've already got their mind made up. Every content they're consuming is already telling them that. So there's no way I'm going to convince them. So I'm not even going to try to convince them. But walking around this show today, like lots of people come up to me like, oh, China cycling, watch your videos, blah, 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 blah. They're like, oh, I used to think China stuff was all crap, but then I watched your one video about XYZ. And XYZ is always different things. Like I've had people tell me today about Yolio, about the Cyber cranksets, so many different things. And they'll say, I tried it, and it was great. And then I brought blah, 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 and they'll tell me which of the things. So I think loads of people have this prejudice, but then as soon as they try something themselves for the first time, especially when it's their own money, and they've spent like a third of what they spent on something else, and they try it, they go, oh, this is not bad. But I'm not saying that all Chinese stuff is good. Believe me, there is so much bad stuff here. Like there is so much bad stuff from everywhere. But in China, the barrier to entry to making a new product or making a new brand or making a new factory is a lot lower, which means you get lots of the bad stuff as well. But yeah, in general, I'd say just try it. Like a common thing I always see is some guy has like a $15,000 S-Works with Envy wheels and blah, 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 blah. And like his wife is also cycles, but not as much. And so he'll want to upgrade his wife's bike and like he'll buy something like a Cyber crankset for his wife's bike, like kind of curious for himself, but mostly because he wants his wife to try shorter crank arms or something. And he'll buy it and he'll get it and be like, wow, that's pretty good. And every time we see on Panda Podium, like somewhat guy will place an order for like 155 cranks, and like 2 months later, they'll come back and place an order for like 170 cranks because they've seen it, like, oh, this is good. I want some for my bike.
Exactly.
We see it so many times.
Man, that actually knocked me off because I'm really thinking about buying 165 cranks myself.
So I usually ride 165 from this.
Yeah.
On my ER1 back now, I'm testing 155s these days.
Yeah.
Feels pretty good, but I'm not looking forward to changing all my bikes to 155s. That's going to be expensive, but so far I like it.
So the purpose of my channel just as a whole is to try to help people see that, well, give kind of transparency to people that work here, as well as bike markets and different places. I'm not saying everything is good. Well, my purpose is just to provide exposure. And I think with somebody like you who's been here for so long, I think it would definitely be nice for people to get to know who you are, why you came, and what inspires you, to be quite honest.
Yeah, for sure. Like, no sponsorship here. There's Panda Podium logos everywhere, but just off camera here is Trace Velo himself, Luke.
And say hi, man.
You see, he's not being held hostage. But obviously Luke's thing... Hola. Obviously Luke's thing is AliExpress and trawling around AliExpress, and anyone who's watched this channel, he gets some bargains, but you have to do the work. You have to file down your frame or something to get the host or this, that, and the other. I always just say, Panda Podium is the Chinese stuff, on easy mode. We're trying to lower the barrier to entry, so more consumers can experience the Chinese bike race and get their hands on some nice high-performance Chinese stuff without having to go down the rabbit holes of filing your frame down in the middle of the night and stuff.
So, on the channel, we have many bikes that we do reviews of. People are looking for cheaper bike brands, places to buy it from. I would definitely suggest Panda Podium. And we hope you all the best. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you. That was amazing. Thank you
care.
very much. Peace.
Okay, so we're at the Highland stand, and I came across this contraption. So I'm not a mountain biker, I don't know much about it, but this is a steel frame. It comes with a 54-volt battery, and it can do 80 to 90 kilometers on one charge. So if you're looking to bring your friends along who aren't cyclists, super comfortable, super quick, $800 US. Okay, so here we are at the Onirii stand. Onirii is a brand that works with Elvis as well, so they're a little bit well known. This is their fully carbon aero bike with carbon wheels, carbon cockpit, carbon handlebar with Dura-Ace, coming in at around 5,000 pounds. And here we have another aero model. They've got a cockpit a bit like the new Colnago, the Poggy one, and it comes with Ultegra for around 3,500 pounds. So we're at the Magene stand. Magene is kind of like Garmin, a very reliable product. I've been using them for about 4 years now. Let's check out what they have to offer. These SPD pedals, both Shimano style and Kyo look style, are 2,999 RMB, which is about 300 pounds. These heart rate monitors range from 10 pounds to 15 pounds. This bike radar is 599 RMB, which is about 60 pounds. This dual-sided power meter is 2,999 RMB, which is 300 pounds. So we're at the Magene stand, and Magene is a, I guess, Chinese equivalent of Garmin. This is the electric system. It can be put onto a city bike to convert it into something like an electric bike, yeah? So on the left you have the buttons, on the right you have the buttons. The right changes the front chainring and the left changes the back derailleur, is that correct?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Smart trainer for 3,999 RMB and 4,999 RMB. So Raveman's an up-and-coming bike accessory brand. We have different kinds of lights here. This one, which is 300 lumens, is £26, and this one, which is 500 lumens, is £30. So here we have Upland's custom frames. There's Janice painting one of them right now. As we saw in the previous bike show video, they're around 8,000 RMB for these custom painted aero frames, which is quite the bargain.
And that's the end of the Shanghai Bike Show. There was a lot to see. We tried to show you the best that we could, but there was a lot here. We hope you had fun. See you in the next one.